Hi everyone, my name is Staff Sergeant Dub Rivers, first name Tanisha, and if you haven't met me already during in processing, hi, I'm the bubbly one in the personnel division. I'm a 3 at 5 and my background is administration. Today I would like to talk about the IADC Grievance policy, which is a general awareness training. The purpose of this training is to establish a fair and equitable process which a member of the IADC can have his or her grievance addressed. The applicability of this training is for everyone, whether you are a staff or a student. The word grievance is an allegation by an individual based on specific facts that there has been a misinterpretation, a misapplication, discriminatory application, or a violation of the IADC policy altogether. The grievant is the person lodging a grievance. Respondent is the person against who the grievance is lodged. So here at the IADC, we want to make sure everyone is treated fairly and properly while going to school or working here as a staff. And the policy here is the IADC supports the right of students, faculty, and staff to obtain the review of actions they consider unfair or an impediment to working and learning at the college. It is very important that the IADC maintain and foster a climate that is prompt and fair of grievances. The intent of the grievance process is to resolve a dispute over significant issues versus minor disagreements. The IADC encourages all faculty, staff, as well as students to seek an informal resolution prior to initiating the formal grievance process. It is always important to talk things out. At the end of the day, you have to realize that we all are human beings and we all should respect each other, or at least give each other enough respect to come to each other with issues that we may have. The IADC faculty, staff, as well as students are more than welcome to initiate a grievance process through the formal route. A formal grievance procedure differs depending on employment or assignment statuses. So that is a key thing you should know. Academic grievances or grade appeals will follow procedures outlined in the IADC course catalog and student handbook, which you all will be provided during your week of orientation if you haven't received it already. Now, the U.S. elements, military and GS civilians, as well as personnel may utilize service-specific grievance processes at any time. So if you're going to go the informal route, you need to make sure you follow step 1, which is the initial discussion. The grievance should initiate the informal process within 10 working days. The grievant must make a good faith effort to resolve the matter at the lowest level possible. Step 2 is the meeting with the supervisor. If the grievant is a staff or faculty of the IADC, then you want to make sure you contact his or her immediate supervisor so all parties are involved and know what's going on. If the grievant is a student, then the student should contact the chief of course, who performs the role of a supervisor for the college students. And if you don't know who that person is already, I promise you will find out by the end of this orientation. This step should be taken within 5 business days of the meeting with the respondent. Now, if the grievant involves your direct supervisor, then the next level of the IADC supervision. So if it's your supervisor you're having the issue with, then you want to go to your supervisor. So for example, say you're having an issue with the NCO, then you want to go to the NCOIC. Or if you're having an issue with the NCOIC, then you want to go to the next person in line, which is the NCOIC supervisor. So always give that chance to go to the immediate next supervisor to give them the opportunity to try to resolve the issue at the lowest level before going up the chain of command. The next step will be a formal procedure. The formal grievance procedure depends on a person's employment or assignment status. For example, if you're an IADB contracted employee and service contractors, then these are the steps you will take. If you're a U.S. government employee and civilian student, you have to follow the procedures in accordance with the administrative instruction number 37, which is called the employee grievances. If you are a U.S. military student or staff, you will need to follow the applicable military service policies, procedures, regulations in accordance with the UCMJ and DoD Directive 7050.06. The military whistleblower protection. Now, non-U.S. students, military, and civilian staff will follow these instructions. Inform the college chain of responsibility prior to coordination with their respective IADB chief of delegation based on applicable procedures and regulations associated with assigned personnel. Please keep in mind, if you do not feel comfortable doing any of these steps, we do have alternate procedures if you are not comfortable doing the first two. Now, this is a hard step for anyone to take, especially if you feel like you're going to be treated differently, which we have a word for that called reprisal in the military. So make sure as a grievant, your responsibilities are to do the following. And also remember, as a supervisor, you have responsibilities as well. You will need to make sure that you accept and attempt to resolve informal grievances objectively and equitably. This is a time-sensitive case. Actions should always be taken within 5 days, beginning on the first working day after the recipient of the grievance. Record the date when an informal grievance begins and ends. That's very important. Also cancel an informal grievance when requested by the employee. Also, the college has their responsibilities as well, which are you want to remember, at the end of the day, this meeting should get down to the point of the issue. Figure out what is the root cause of the issue and try to find a way to resolve it at the lowest level possible. And I'm going to encourage you, when you have these meetings, remember to stay professional, keep your bearing, don't let your emotions, cloud your judgment and take over you to the point where you can't speak properly, you start crying and getting emotional. You want to keep it straight facts. Also, have a party in there that you trust. Someone I would recommend, like a mentor or the enlisted advisor or some sort. And you want to make sure when you're having these meetings that if you're going to record by utilizing a recording device as a cell phone or recording, that you ask the party before you start the meeting, are you okay with me recording? And if not, that's why it's always good to have someone present that you trust as a key witness in case you decide to go any higher with this issue if it's not resolved at the lowest level possible, or just to have the person there so they can witness it for themselves instead of hearing he say, she say.